I first initially heard this hiring, so I'm going to throw you a curveball like I know we haven't spoke about this at all. But Arthur Smith to the Atlanta Falcons. Arthur Smith is the Tennessee Titans assistant offensive coordinator. So as you guys know, the Tennessee Titans lost to the Baltimore Ravens. And, they were pretty much a ground and pound team. Give the ball to Derrick Henry. Going to the Atlanta Falcons, where you have weapons like Julio Jones, Matt Ryan. Who is that other receiver that they drafted? Like, his name always slips my mind.
Ridley.
Yeah. So, they are, quote, a high-powered offense, and they have a pretty good running back as well. So, Arthur Smith to the Atlanta Falcons, offensive coordinator to the Tennessee Titans. Like I know this is the first of you hearing about this. So, what is your initial reaction about that?
To be honest with you, I don't know diddly squat about this guy. I think you're going to probably one of the better situations. Arthur Blank there in Atlanta. He tries to win. He spends money. He's not the Jets. He's not they're not the Jaguars. This is probably right now the second best job out there, other than the Chargers, to go to. So,
and they have the 4th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 4th overall pick. Also, I hear a lot of people now talking about them going with that Zach Wilson kid, and. You're in a good situation. You've got a lot of weapons, and if you get the quarterback that you want, then hey, all bets are off. Because they do have a really talented team.
Yeah.
Now, albeit Matty Ice might be gone, and rumor has it that
Julio
Jones might be gone. But you've still got a lot of talent there in Atlanta.
Well, and they aren't so Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are both wrapped up into contracts for the next 2 or 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. So they wouldn't be letting them go for free. They would be getting some type of compensation, whether it be draft picks or like other players. So this is a great opportunity for a first-year head coach. And speaking of head coaches, the New York Jets hired their guy as well, Rob Shilla. Am I saying that name right? Saleh. I'm going to get it right eventually, but he was the defensive coordinator.
Coombs from time to time, so I have no faith you're ever going to get this one right.
Well, you got to do what you got to do. But they go from offensive guru to defensive guru, hiring the defensive coordinator from the San Francisco 49ers. I think you were kind of high on this hire, like a little bit. Like, what are your initial thoughts?
It's not just me that's high on it, man. There was a lot of good reaction around the league about this hire, more than even the Urban Meyer hire. There are players, especially from the 49ers, who were applauding this. One of them even went as far to say the Jets made a fantastic hire. I can't wait to see Coach Saleh go and turn this organization around. This guy was from the minute the Jets position opened up, this was the guy that was rumored to be getting the position. Yeah. And so the Jets go out and they get their guy. I've got a couple of friends who are Jets fans, and they really like the hire too. And so, there's a lot of work to be done in that organization, though. A lot of work to be done in that organization. You need a ton of pieces to even be competitive, let alone relevant.
And I'm going to disagree
with much there. Really?
I'm going to disagree on that, because if you really look at who they got, Sam Darnold is a pretty good quarterback.
Yes.
I think if you put him in a better offensive situation, he would do well in the Jets or organization.
But you just hired a defensive-minded coach.
But on the Man Hour, what was it, Tuesday show or Monday show, I told you that some of the best head coaches and offensive-minded players were defensive coordinators or defensive players at some time, because they know how to manipulate the defense into doing them what they want to do. But you have Sam Darnold. You also have that kid from Louisville, right here in Louisville, Kentucky, that Beckham kid, left tackle. Yeah. He's 6'9", 360-some pounds. He is a beast. And so they have added protection to him. I really think the only thing that the New York Jets are really missing right now is a solid running game, to be totally honest. And
really?
Yeah, and
I don't
like
think they have an offensive line. I don't think they have. I don't think they have more than one wide receiver. I don't think they have. They don't have any defense.
They have that Crowder kid that's really good. He is secretly. I mean, he is definitely not a number one receiver by like any means, but he is.
Right.
He's a solid number two. They had that Perryman kid. I think this is his third year in the league. He is steadily becoming better as well. But I think the Jets are going to address their offensive line needs in the draft, and they're going to address that number one receiver in the offseason in free agency, aka Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, I see. I think OBJ ends up in New England. But I agree with you. They are going to address the offensive line in the draft. Penny Sewell is. There's no if the
he's
Jets
a kid from Oregon,
take,
right?
If the Jets don't take Penny Sewell at number 2, it Jets fans might explode.
So to be honest, me like obviously like our draft guy isn't here. Wyatt is our is the man hour draft guru 100%. But it would not surprise me if the Jets trade down in the draft, because there are some teams that want quarterbacks, right? Miami's starting to be rumbling.
You've got to go get Penny Sewell at 2, and he's not. He will not be available if you trade down more than one position. He will not be available middle of the first round. There's no way.
But I think the offensive lineman class is deep enough to go 20 to 23 picks and still be on the board.
Penny Sewell is a generational talent.
They said that about the kid from Louisville too, though.
Yeah, but Penny Sewell is. I mean, look. People talk about Trevor Lawrence. If you could build a quarterback prototype in the NFL, who would you build? And it would be Trevor Lawrence. Penny Sewell is the offensive lineman that you would build.
Right.
And so, if I'm the Jets, I don't trade that. If I'm Houston, I try to fleece them here, or not Houston, Miami. Right. If I'm Miami, I try to fleece them. I say, hey, look, we're not high on Tua. We're looking to take a quarterback at 2, and then we go to number 2, and we're going to take Penny Sewell, and we are trading for whoever, whatever quarterback. I mean, they're talking about Deshaun Watson. Of course, I want to see him with my Bears, so I hope that trade doesn't come to fruition. But
yeah, I mean, we are definitely going to be really getting deep into this offseason, once the offseason starts. But Combs, we got to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, the NFL regular season or postseason is still in effect. We had the divisional round this weekend. So right here on the Big X Sports Radio Live here Saturday morning on 96.1 FM, we are going to pick our NFL picks. We had the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Browns, Bucks versus Saints, Rams versus Packers, and the Ravens versus Bills. Spoiler alert, I am a Chiefs fan. So guys, all that and much more on the Man Hour right after this break.
Hey, Kentuckiana, are you looking for appliances, but you can't find them anywhere? The big box stores are sold out, and you don't know where to go. Charlie has them. Come to Charlie Wilson's Appliance TVs and Mattresses in Clarksville, where we have over $2 million of appliances in stock and ready for delivery. Or if you'd like, you can pick them up from our store. If you buy your built-in appliances today, Charlie will make sure they're installed right away. That's the Charlie Wilson's promise. Take the bridge to better deals at Charlie Wilson's in Clarksville.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeister along with Brandon Combs. Head over to manhour.com. Pick yourself up some merchandise. If you miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on iTunes and Spotify, also iHeartRadio, and we are live every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. East Coast time on youtube.com/Man Hour. Combs, that first segment, we've been talking a lot of football, and I mean, football is like in our blood deep right now. And this divisional playoff round, first of all, the Super Wildcard round was a great weekend of football, 100%. But I think this divisional round is going to be that much better, plus some. I am excited just here in a few hours, like we got some games happening. But let's talk about the Sunday games first. The first game that I want to talk about is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns got their first playoff win since, I don't know, forever, like 25 plus years, like I think it was, and they made the playoffs for the first time since 1994.
Right.
So first things first is, who do you got in this game? Cleveland Browns versus Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, Buck, I mean, you're the Chiefs fan. I see you sitting here with the Kansas City Chiefs hat on.
Yep.
You're pumped up for this game. You are ready for this weekend. There's probably going to be a funeral on CBS during game time, so you're not going to see it anyway.
Don't you wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
But no, look. What have I told you all year about the Chiefs?
That the Kansas City Chiefs play down to their competition, and that is 100% correct. You are spot on that.
And I said it was going to come and it was going to bite them in the playoffs.
You did.
And I'm going to go with it right off the bat. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to lose to the Cleveland Browns. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to lose a close game to the Cleveland Browns. And what's going to happen is the Chiefs are going to come out flat. They're going to come out. We've already seen it on Twitter. When the Browns beat the Steelers, you had Kareem Hunt on there saying, "Oh, looks like we got some competition next week." And then one of his team, I can't remember who it was, comes on and replies to his Twitter account and says, "Nah, not really," with the laughing emoji. And this is the same thing that the Steelers did to the Browns. Okay. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to come out flat, and the Browns are going to jump on them. And the Cleveland Browns win this game 37-35.
First things first, Combs. I was on Kareem Hunt's Twitter looking for that tweet because I wanted to screenshot it and I wanted to save it. Kareem Hunt has been active on Twitter since 2019.
Well, maybe it wasn't Kareem Hunt. It was somebody, though. I'm going to look. Well, you go ahead and give me your pick. I'm going to look it up right now.
Well, I can tell you that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a great game versus the Cleveland Browns. It is going to come down to basically the play of Baker Mayfield and Kareem Hunt. Not Nick Chubb, not Landry Jones, not Myles Garrett. It is going to come down to Baker Mayfield and Kareem Hunt. Can those two get on sync to really open up the passing game on the swing passes out to the left, swing passes out to the right? They need to get Chris Jones in space and get him tired and get him wore out, because that is the heart and soul of the Kansas City.
Looking for a career, not just a job? Don't want to take the traditional four-year college route and start your career in debt? Local Union 502 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians may be the answer. We offer a debt-free apprenticeship program where you can work while earning a journeyman status and an associate college degree. As a skilled journeyman, you can earn $32 per hour with health care and pension benefits. For more information on starting your new career, go to lu502.com. Local Union 502, built on excellence, building a better tomorrow.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheiser along with Brandon Combs. Head over to manhour.com. Pick yourself up some merchandise. If you miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on iTunes and Spotify, also iHeartRadio, and we are live every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. East Coast time on youtube.com/Man Hour. Combs, that first segment, we've been talking a lot of football, and football is like in our blood deep right now. And this divisional playoff round, first of all, the Super Wildcard round was a great weekend of football, 100%. But I think this divisional round is going to be that much better, plus some. I am excited of just here in a few hours, like we got some games happening. But let's talk about the Sunday games first. The first game that I want to talk about is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns got their first playoff win since, I don't know, forever, like 25 plus years, like I think it was, and they made the playoffs for the first time since 1994. Right. So first things first is, who do you got in this game? Cleveland Browns versus Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, Buck, I mean, you're the Chiefs fan. I see you sitting here with the Kansas City Chiefs hat on.
Yep.
You're pumped up for this game. You are ready for this weekend. There's probably going to be a funeral on CBS during game time, so you're not going to see it anyway.
Don't you wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
But No, look. What have I told you all year about the Chiefs?
That the Kansas City Chiefs play down to their competition, and that is 100% correct. You are spot on that.
And I said it was going to come and it was going to bite them in the playoffs.
You did.
And I'm going to go with it right off the bat. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to lose to the Cleveland Browns. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to lose a close game to the Cleveland Browns. And what's going to happen is the Chiefs are going to come out flat. They're going to come out. We've already seen it on Twitter. You know, when the Browns beat the Steelers, you had Kareem Hunt on there saying, "Oh, looks like we got some competition next week." And then one of his team, I can't remember who it was, comes on and replies to his Twitter account and says, "Nah, not really," with the laughing emoji. And it's the same thing that the Steelers did to the Browns. Okay. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to come out flat, and the Browns are going to jump on them. And the Cleveland Browns win this game 37-35.
First things first, Combs. I was on Kareem Hunt's Twitter looking for that tweet because I wanted to screenshot it and I wanted to save it. Kareem Hunt has been active on Twitter since 2019.
Well, maybe it wasn't Kareem Hunt. It was somebody, though. I'm going to look. Well, you go ahead and give me your pick. I'm going to look it up right now.
Well, I can tell you that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a great game versus the Cleveland Browns. It is going to come down to basically the play of Baker Mayfield and Kareem Hunt. Not Nick Chubb, not Landry Jones, not Myles Garrett. It is going to come down to Baker Mayfield and Kareem Hunt. Can those two get on sync to really open up the passing game on the swing passes out to the left, swing passes out to the right? They need to get Chris Jones in space and get him tired and get him wore out, because that is the heart and soul of the Kansas City defense. When Chris Jones is getting pressure on the quarterback and disrupting the running game, the Kansas City defense excels really great. The Honey Badger starts to play well. Hitchens and all the linebacking core starts to play well. Like, they feed off of Chris Jones. Chris Jones doesn't light up the stat sheet by any means. It's because people are running the other way because they're scared of him. They he will lock down one side of the field because they're running the other way. With that being said, I am 100% taking the Kansas City Chiefs. I have heard all these so-called sports experts. Cleveland Browns are going to come into Arrowhead and upset them. Yada, yada, yada. The Kansas City Chiefs right now have an 82% chance of winning this game. The money line is minus 500. What's that?
I would say it's closer to 95. All they have to do is show up and score like they can. Do not take this team lightly. I don't think they're capable of doing that, Buck. I think that they believe they are so much better than everybody else that they can just show up and play, and they should win. Now, I found this tweet that I was talking about. So Sammy Watkins, during the Chiefs or the Steelers and Browns game last week, said, "This is a video game. What the hell is going on? And this is weird. I'm speechless. Pretty sure the whole world is shocked because I've never seen anything like this in my life, not in the NFL." Well, Hunter, I don't know what position Hunter plays.
For the Bears, for the Browns,
the Chiefs. For the Chiefs. Okay. Says, looks like we got some comp next week with heart eyes and a laughing emoji. Sammy Watkins comes back and says, "I wouldn't go that far. LOL." Like, I'm telling you, man, this Chiefs team does not take anybody seriously. And to be honest with you, they are better than everybody else.
They are.
They are that much better than everybody else. The problem is in the NFL, when you take a team lightly, and a team that's as talented as the Cleveland Browns are, and they are a very talented team, you give them hope, and you give them a reason to believe they can beat you, they're going to beat you. And that's why I changed. When the Browns first beat the Steelers, I said, well, that's all right. They're one and done anyway. The more the week went on and the more I heard stories like this come up and the more I sat down and I thought about it, I said, you know what? If there's going to be an upset this weekend, it's going to be the Browns over the Chiefs.
Okay, so let me talk about that tweet that you just said. Sammy Watkins made that tweet, correct? The same Sammy Watkins that hasn't played for 7 weeks. The same Sammy Watkins that has been out all postseason, and I think he had maybe 3 catches last postseason. And the same Hunter that is
all
on
the
the
more reason to stay off of frickin' Twitter.
And the Hunter kid is the same Hunter kid that is a gunner on the punt return team. So he gets, action once or two times a game. So these are two guys that are pretty much irrelevant of the whole team. I guarantee you right now, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, all the boys on the offense that haven't played for two weeks, they are laser focused in. They are almost too focused into where they are going to try to outplay themselves in the first quarter. First quarter is going to look sloppy as heck. Second quarter, they're going to score their 20 to 28 points in the game, and the game is going to be over.
I mean, look, Juju Smith-Schuster came out before the game and said, I think they're still the same Browns teams we play every year. Right. I think they're nameless gray faces. They have a couple good players on their team, but at the end of the day, I don't know. The Browns is the Browns.
That was a divisional rivalry talk right there. Come on, man. Let's be
and then
honest.
The Browns went out and waxed that. I'm telling there is, and I've said this before. I even said this before the Tampa Bay and Washington game last week. Don't give somebody poster board material.
Exactly. You're 100% right on that. 100% right on that.
And that's what they went out and did. I don't know, man. That's why I'm going Browns. I'm going Browns in a tight game. I think that Baker Mayfield, I think this is his statement game. I think he comes out and leads a game-winning drive. And they end up either kicking a field goal or getting in the end zone at the end of the game, but they win it on a game-winning drive. And he out-Patty Mahomes in Mahomes' home.
So
say that
it is
5 times fast.
It is about 9:30 here on the East Coast. The game starts at 3:05 East Coast time. You still have until 2:55 to text me and say, you know what, I'm picking the Chiefs. So,
this is Sunday. I got a whole 24 hours.
Okay, so you got 24 hours plus. So you got like 30 hours. So I will leave the door open for you, Combs, because let's be honest, I know you. I'm staying with my pick. No, you're gonna see. Oh, Baker Mayfield has a hangnail. I better pick the Chiefs. Come on, man.
Come on. If Baker Mayfield isn't playing in the game, it's obviously a completely different game. But I'm sticking with the Browns. I think the Browns find a way to get this one done. So that's where I'm staying with it.
Speaking of getting things done, two 42-year-old plus quarterbacks. Tom Brady versus Drew Brees. Sunday Night Football, what better way to wrap up the weekend of this divisional game? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Saints. Combs, which 42-year-old are you going to pick?
I never, ever, ever advise picking against Tom Brady in a playoff game.
Facts.
Ever. Not only that, but I never advise picking against him when you've already beat him twice in the season and you're trying to beat him for a third time in the season. Mm-hmm. Drew Brees is 5-2 in his career against Tom Brady. Drew Brees is the only quarterback that can say that. So I'm still going with the Bucs here. I think that this one, I don't even think this one is as close as we would want it to be. I've got the Bucs here 30-20. I think that the Bucs defense gets it done. I think at the end of the day, this is Drew Brees' last game, and I think Tom Brady goes off again. I think Tom Brady throws for another 350 plus, and 3 touchdowns, and the Bucs get it done.
So there are a few things that I did wrong last week, and that was that was pick against Drew Brees at home in the playoffs. Granted, it was against your great Chicago Bears team that you guys have up there 4 more years of by far the greatest head coach in GM.
I begged you not to pick them. I begged you not to pick because you picked the Cowboys to win the division.
Yeah, I sure did.
Then you said the whoever wins the NFC East was going to win a playoff game,
which they almost did with the backup quarterback. Yeah, come on, they did.
No, they didn't. Come on now. And so I mean, you jinxed us. I don't even know what to say.
With all that being said, I understand you believe that it is hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. I have been hammering that out for the last 2 weeks. That it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. However, these are 2 totally different teams from the last time they played. For one, the last time they played was week 9. guys, that is over 9 weeks ago. That is that's 2.5 months of football that they haven't played each other or even seen each other. So you are two totally different teams. Like at that point. Also, to add to that point, Antonio Brown wasn't on that team either, right? Correct. Michael Thomas wasn't playing for the Saints like at the time either. He was hurt or suspended. I can't remember which one it was.
Marshawn Lattimore. No, he played against that second game against the Saints. Marshawn Lattimore shut him down though. That's why why you thought he didn't play in the game. 2 games against the Saints, and Evans has had 4 targets. That's dominant. Lattimore's
we are talking about Michael Thomas, not Mike Evans.
Oh, I thought you said Mike Evans. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, yeah. So Thomas was hurt pretty much the whole year, and he was on IR since week 13 or week 12. But I can see where people think this is going to be a high scoring game, 30 to 28, 35, 30, that type of score. But I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints are the 2 most complete teams in the playoffs right now. On the defense, special teams, offense, they are the 2 most complete teams. With that being said, yes, they haven't played each other since week 9, but you still have the same offense, right? You are still going to, run your post routes, curl route. I mean, it doesn't change. With that being said, this is going to be a low scoring game. 17-13 is going to be the final, and I think Drew Brees is going to come last drive of the game, drive about 60 yards down the field, and then it is going to be like a screen pass to Alvin Kamara to end the game, giving the Saints the victory, 17-13, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or Tom Brady for the 3rd time this year, I should say.
If you're right, and if it's a low scoring game, then I would go with you. I would say that favors the Saints. Mm-hmm. But in a shootout, it definitely favors the Bucs. So
which I agree with that. They have a lot more weapons on that side.
Yeah, and that's why I just don't think. I don't know. I don't think that they stop him. I think it's too hard to beat Tom Brady twice in a season, let alone a 3rd time. It's really hard to beat Tom Brady in the playoffs. And I trust Tom Brady more than I trust Drew Brees.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Brees is now officially 500 in the playoffs. So, I mean, and I think Tom Brady has, 32 wins in the playoffs versus 9 losses or something ridiculous like that, right? Like, he is absolutely head and shoulders above him. So, yeah, I mean, it can go either way, but I think it will be a low-scoring game and give me the Saints. So let's go ahead and move over to the Saturday games here. 4:35 kickoff. We had the Green Bay Packers take on the LA Rams. Just a few hours to kick off. I'm starting to feel the jitters. I'm starting to get a little hype. You are a Chicago Bears fan, Combs. So who do you got in this one? Come on, pick them.
Look, man, the thing that I'm most excited to watch about in this game is Jalen Ramsey and Devontae Adams. This is going to be an unbelievable matchup.
Yeah.
And I think that the winner of this matchup determines the game. And for me, as much as I really want to pick the Rams in this game, and if I go 3-1 this weekend, and this is the one in that 3-1, I'm okay with that. But I'm picking the Green Bay Packers. They're too good. They're at Lambeau. Aaron Rodgers is clicking on all cylinders, and they find a way to pull this one. I think it's a close one. I think it's a close one, but I think that the Packers pull this one out. I'd say something along the lines of 31-27.
There is always an old saying in the NFL is you have to peak at the right time. And I think the LA Rams peaked at the wrong time. Right now, they are very, very injury prone. They are limping into this game. They're arguably their best defensive player. I would say to say that he is the MVP of the NFL if it was a proper MVP voting. Aaron Donald, he has a cracked rib. He is going to get a shot before the game, the same shot that Tyrod Taylor got that punctured his lung week 1 or week 2. Can't remember what week that was. So it is a very dangerous procedure, right? But your best defensive player is quote hurting. Not quote. He is hurting with a broken rib going into this game. Jared Goff just had 3 or 4 pins put in his throwing thumb, and it is going to be cold up in Lambeau. And their 1-2 punch at the running back position, Henderson is out on the IR for the rest of the season. I like as well. Granted, their running back is still pretty good right now, and every time he gets 20 plus touches the last 5 games, they have won this game. But give me the Green Bay Packers. You count the playoffs. I don't think the Packers have been a first round exit.
He has. It was early in his career. I was looking at this the other day when I was talking to Wyatt. But he hasn't had a very successful career in the playoffs. But he hasn't been horrible either. Now, I brought up the stats the other day when I was talking to Wyatt on this. Well, you were out, doing the stuff with your house, and him and I got in, and I said, you look at his stats in the playoffs, he's not the same bad man that he is in the regular season.
Right.
His touchdown interception ratio stays high because Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw interceptions, doesn't make a ton of mistakes, but his completion percentage goes way, way down. Now, I don't know if you want to attribute that to him or attribute to his wide receivers dropping passes, whatever the case is, but Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs just isn't the same Aaron Rodgers that he is. It kind of reminds me a lot of Peyton Manning. When you get to the playoffs, you're just not afraid of him like you are in the regular season. And for whatever reason, so here we go. 2007, 2008, they won. Let's see, 2009 was his first playoff game. I'm looking at them as we go, and they lost in the first round in 2009. They lost to Arizona Cardinals, 51-45.
Wasn't that Kurt Warner's final year, and they went to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was.
So yes, that was a very good Cardinals team. Very good Cardinals team.
And then 2010 they won the Super Bowl. 2011 they were one and done. They lost to the Giants.
The same Giants team that beat the 16-0 Patriots, right?
Yep. 2012 they lost in the NFC Championship to San Francisco. 2013 they were one and done. They lost to San Francisco. 2014 they lost in the NFC Championship game. That should have been the Bears, by the way. Freaking Jay Cutler. 2015, they lost to Arizona again in the divisional round. 2016, they lost in the NFC Championship to Atlanta. And 2019, they lost in the divisional round to San Francisco again.
So what you're saying is he has 2 first-round exits in his NFL career, right?
Correct.
So you want to know who else has 2 first-round exits in their NFL career?
Who?
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens do play the Buffalo Bills to wrap up the Saturday games. Lamar Jackson has never played in snow before, guys, and it is forecast to snow there 2 to 4 inches. So, Combs, who do you got in this one?
It could be 110 degrees and sunny today. And it could be perfect conditions for running the ball, perfect conditions for throwing the ball. And I'm still going with the Buffalo Bills. They are way too talented on both sides of the ball. And this is not a slight on Lamar Jackson. I know you don't like Lamar Jackson. You hate Lamar Jackson. You keep saying that you wish Lamar Jackson was never in the NFL.
I never said that. Come on, man.
So
don't you put words in my mouth.
You talk about how he's trash and this and that, and he's not a quarterback, blah, 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 blah. I don't believe that. But Buffalo is just too talented. Buffalo has gone 7 straight games where their quarterback has thrown for 300-plus yards and multiple touchdowns.
Yeah, they have.
And the only team that has scored as many points as them in the last 5 to 6 weeks has been the Baltimore Ravens. But those games were also against the Cincinnati Bengals, New York Jets, New York Giants. So it doesn't hold as much weight to me. The Buffalo Bills are the big boy team in this playoff game. They're just too talented. Lamar Jackson doesn't have enough help on the offensive side of the ball, and I got Buffalo winning this one. Big. I got this something like 37-23.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills are. Well, let me digress a little bit. I listened to the show last night on youtube.com/Man Hour. If you guys are not subscribed to that channel, you should be. We are live there every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. East Coast time. You guys had the most overrated team segment going into the weekend. And was it you or Wyatt Williams said that the Buffalo Bills was the most overrated team going into the weekend? Was that Wyatt?
That was actually Mike LeBlanc.
Oh, okay. So Mike said the Buffalo Bills were the most overrated team going into the weekend. Of course, I did not hear the whole segment because I was in the process of closing or accepting the offer on my house and whatnot, and that was fun time. So I was like I was passively listening to it, and then I heard that, and I'm like, wait, what? Why are the Buffalo Bills the most? I think besides the Saints and the Bucks, I think the Buffalo Bills are the most complete team in the AFC right now. The Buffalo Bills, from top to bottom, defense, offense, special teams, coaching staff, to GM, to owner, to fans, they have the best fans besides the Arrowhead guys in all of NFL. The Buffalo Bills are a solid team. Now, with that being said, they do have a culture of, not performing in the big game, right? They do have the culture of making it to the Super Bowl, but just never.
Are you going to face your fears here, Buck? Because I say it all the time. Your biggest fear is the Kansas City Chiefs versus Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC title game, and Lamar Jackson coming out victorious. No. Are you going to face your fears here, Buck?
I am not afraid of Lamar Jackson. Why? This regular season, he has 64% completion passes for 2,757 yards. You want to know how many other quarterbacks in the league that's played more than 10 games have more than 2,700 yards?
How many other quarterbacks have 1,000 rushing yards?
25 quarterbacks have more yards than him.
How many have more rushing yards?
I believe none of them, but Josh Allen is probably in the
dangerous.
Oh, he is in the dangerous in the open field, but it's supposed to snow. He is a shifty running back. I told you this on Wednesday. Can you plant and go in the snow? No, you can't. No, you cannot. The snow is going to equalize the playing field. Lamar Jackson is going to look like the average NFL quarterback that he is, and the Buffalo Bills are going to roll. Come on,
He's
man.
He's the reigning MVP, Buck.
Only because Patrick Mahomes got hurt.
Buck, stop it.
Combs, are you telling me a quarterback that threw for 2,700 yards this season, 107 yards in their quote win? They did win, but quote win. That he led them to the Tennessee Titans.
He is the only quarterback also with back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing games.
Okay, so why didn't he play running back then?
Because he's not a running back, he's a quarterback.
No,
you know for a fact, you know football, Buck. You know the same holes do not open up for running backs that they do for quarterbacks because it's a very different type of game. Now,
he would not survive as a running back.
Let me ask you a question. If this was perfect conditions, like I said, and I said I would still pick Buffalo, would you still be on Buffalo too?
I would be on Buffalo, but it'd be a lot closer, like I think.
So then don't blame the snow. Just say you're picking Buffalo. Don't blame the snow on Lamar Jackson not being able to be the same quarterback. Just say you don't want to pick Lamar Jackson because you don't like Lamar Jackson. You think he's trash.
Are you telling me that the snow is not going to equalize him and show him that he is an average quarterback that can't?
I don't know that yet. I'm interested to see that. I'm not as down on him as you are. I am interested to see how he performs today in the snow in Buffalo with fans in the stands.
For the first time all year, those fans are going to be rowdy.
I'm excited to see how he performs. I'm interested to see how he performs. And I just think that the Bills are too much.
Yeah.
The Bills are too much. The Bills, to me, are the best team in the AFC and maybe the best team in all of football right now.
Now, you said earlier about the Browns versus the Chiefs game. If there was going to be an upset this weekend, it would be the Browns beating the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this for this game, like, honestly, to be flat out honest, just to be serious, all hatred or bias, like a side. I think the Baltimore Ravens could upset the Bills Mafia and the Buffalo Bills simply because of the running game.
Yeah, I don't see it. I just don't. I mean, like I said, I just think that the Buffalo Bills are just so much better in every facet of the game, at every position, than the Ravens are. And that's not a slight on Lamar Jackson. That's just fact. I mean, there's just more weapons in Buffalo on both sides of the ball than there is in Baltimore. That's why I don't know. I don't see an upset in this one at all.
And I would even call them the best receiving core in all of football, or the best running back. Yeah. But they know their roles. They do their roles well. And there is no I. It is always, what can we do? What can we do to succeed?
The biggest wild card on that in that offense is actually the quarterback, because he's got a lot of Brett Favre in him. He's got a lot of, let me throw the ball here. Let me try to gunsling the ball here. I think I could throw a ball through a brick wall, so I'm going to try to throw it through these 4 defenders. That's the problem that you have with Josh Allen, but he's matured on from that. And so I don't know. For me, I have Cleveland upset in Kansas City, and I said that if there's going to be an upset, that one. The other one I think that has a possibility of upset is the Rams. I think if they can hold the Packers to 17 or less points, they have a shot. But that's the Kansas City, Cleveland is the only one I really see an upset.
Now, just as a non-biased fan in all of NFL, and you just want the marquee guys to play each other, you want the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship. You want the 2 premier quarterbacks. You want Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Because we are seeing Drew Brees versus Tom Brady right now. You want Tom Brady to play Aaron Rodgers. You want Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen. And then really, whatever matchup that those create, I think that is what the NFL wants.
Talk about the 2 different styles. For me, and I hate to say this, I really do, and God, I hope Wyatt doesn't listen to the show today. But Patty Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers, to me, is the most intriguing Super Bowl matchup of all. It's the most intriguing Super Bowl matchup of all of them.
They wanted that last year. Let's be honest.
Patty Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers would be so much fun to watch. But Tom Brady versus Patty Mahomes would be fun to watch too, even though they're 2 completely different style quarterbacks. Chiefs versus Packers to me is the best matchup heading into the Super Bowl.
If we are going to pick Super Bowl solely based off quarterbacks, I want to see Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers, or Josh Allen versus Tom Brady, because Tom Brady played the Buffalo Bills so many times over the years. And what type of fitting would that be to beat the Buffalo Bills again in the Super Bowl?
That's a Buffalo Bills fan's worst nightmare.
Right.
People in Buffalo listening to this right now are like, what is this guy doing to us?
They are so tired of Tom Brady.
Don't you wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? Is what
do not wish that evil on us. So guys, we are going to take our last break here on the Big X Sports Radio 96.1. On the other side of the break, we are going to talk baseball. Combs' favorite pastime in the world, baseball. We're going to talk about it a little bit here in the last couple minutes of the Man Hour. We'll be right back here, guys, on Big X 96.1 Sports, Big Sports Talk Radio.
Options. That is what people want when they are choosing their insurance coverage. Hello, I'm Chad Hennessy with InsureMax, and for 12 plus years, I've been working within the Kentucky and area to provide the best insurance options for my clients. InsureMax has been serving Greater Louisville's insurance needs since 1970. We pride ourselves in the options and flexibility that are offered by being an independent agent. For your own personal or business insurance consultation, call me, Chad Hennessy, at 502-479-4085. That's 502-479-4085.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheiser along with Brandon Combs. You guys can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Man Hour every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. East Coast time. And, of course, right here on the Big X Sports Radio every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Combs, we have had probably, I feel like it has been the longest offseason for baseball that I can really remember in recent memory, to be honest, because
seem long to me.
Well, no, because the World Series normally ends in November-ish, that first weekend, and the World Series finished in October.
The last week in October. This year it ended on Halloween,
right?
But it's always traditionally ended, in October. Every once in a while, ever since 2001 with September 11th, that was the first time it ended in November. For reasons that they couldn't control,
right?
And this year it was a little bit different, and I think it kind of reset the schedule because of COVID and the small schedule. I think they were able to get a better control of it, and hopefully they do that again. But I'm excited, man. There's a lot of talk this week. Manfred wants to do 162 games, and he wants to start this season on time. I love it. I mean, do I think that it's possible? Yes. I think that really, to be honest with you, I think the first half of the season until July, I think that they need to just do what they did last year with the first 60 games. I think they need to just do intra-division, so AL Central versus NL Central and that type of stuff. Play inside your own division, and even when you go into interleague. And then once July hits, then you can expand the schedule, expand the travel a little bit, give you some time to really get this COVID thing under control, and get more vaccines out there for sure. But I think that they can. I think they can do it. I think they can get 162 games. I do like the fact that they're keeping some of the same rules. They've already announced they are keeping the 7-inning double headers and the runner on second base in extra innings. And their baseball really wants to keep the universal DH, which, to be honest with you, that should be a rule for the rest of time. And I'm a baseball purist, man. I love this game more than anything in the world. Like, my kids, I tell them all the time. It's funny as hell because I talk to my son Junior all the time. He's 16. He's like, what are the greatest moments in your life? I said, well, one was 2016 when the Cubs won the World Series. 2 was all your guys' births. And he's like, why are we number 2? Well, buddy, it's baseball. Like, that's just why.
Because the Cubs are only going to win one World Series ever in my lifetime. Again,
that might be true. It might be true. I hope it's not, but it might be true. But yeah, no, I love this game, but the universal DH needs to happen.
So some of the biggest news that you just dropped there was that the commissioner of baseball that has been quoted as being, or not has been quoted, but has been said to be one of the worst commissioners ever in baseball. I believe it was it December timeframe that they said that we may not start till June or July, and then now all of a sudden he gets his paycheck. Like, whoa, wait a second, we have to make these 162 games happen. Which I'm okay with. The baseball season runs from February with spring training, pitchers and catchers, and into November. Like, that is just the way that is just the way it is. But something that Major League Baseball needs to take account right now is, for one, you said on the Man Hour, was it earlier this week, Monday, that they're going to allow fans into the stands. So
they're not even going to test.
Yeah, so you have to keep that in mind. There has to be some type of consistency plan in place when the Cardinals, again, have COVID run through their team. Or who was the first team that had COVID run through the team? It was the Marlins, right? They had COVID run through the team, and they had to cancel games versus the Cardinals and the Phillies, and there has to be some type of consistency.
Came out of nowhere and made the playoffs,
right? Which is absolutely ridiculous. But so we have been hard on the NFL saying that they have never had a plan in place all year, and we've seen hockey be successful, Major League Baseball be successful, and NBA be successful, last year in 2020 from, June until October. What kind of plan do you think that Major League Baseball has to have in place to make these 162 games happen and not, like, play a bunch of doubleheaders, not play a bunch of,
So I think that's what it is. I think it's keep the 7-inning doubleheaders, play it just like you did last year. If a team gets it, you sit them out until the testing is under control, and then you run some doubleheaders throughout the year. It's a lot easier. I mean, think about it. It's a lot easier through a 162-game schedule to make up 10 games by doubleheaders than it is in a 60-game schedule. You've got a lot more time to make up those doubleheaders, whether you do it on off days, whatever the case is. But the thing with this is the plan in place needs to just be, if this is what we're doing, we're going with it, and we're not taking any breaks. We're not pausing for anything. The All-Star break is another time where you can make up games as well. There's usually, a 4 or 5 day stretch where they don't play games because of the All-Star break. You could take that away too. You could say, hey, look, we're going to play games the day before and the 2 days after the All-Star break. You don't need so much of a break between the All-Star game. But I think that they can just control it. I mean, to be honest with you, we talk about hockey. Let's face it. Every player on the ice could have tested positive before the game, and they all still would vote to get on the ice and play hockey. They're just a different mindset. So, but baseball, that's all they got to do. Do exactly what you did last year. Control the travel in the beginning of the season. Let this thing get more under control. Let more places open up. They're talking about Illinois starting to open back up. Testing's down below 8% in the state or whatnot. Let more of that happen, because the more the vaccine comes out, the more you're going to hear these numbers. And I just, I think you control the travel early in the season, and you let them travel more towards the end of the season. And I think that's how you do this.
Yeah, and this brings us to the 2-minute warning, Combs.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning.
And just to continue this baseball talk that we're going on, like, one thing that I really like about what hockey is doing right now is they are doing these pods, right? They have like the 6 or 8 teams in a pod, and they're just playing the same teams over and over and over. It is.
Yeah. Except it's all over the place, though. You got Tampa Bay and the Florida Panthers are in the Central Division, while Dallas and Minnesota are in the West. and I'm like, well, if you take Buffalo and Pittsburgh out of the East, they're closer to the Central than Florida and Tampa. I don't understand what they did, but they did it.
Well, but what I'm saying is Major League Baseball needs to take a page out of this book and do some type of pod for full format, because what really hurt baseball earlier in the season was the Marlins. They traveled to St. Louis and they traveled to Philly and then they traveled to New York, and that affected.
They played in interdivision last year, so it was, you only played against the NL East, you only played against the AL East. You didn't travel to St. Louis. The Marlins were actually playing against the Yankees when they contracted COVID. And the Cardinals actually came down with COVID after a couple of their guys were said to have been at the club after a game. So
come on, man.
No, I'm telling you, that's when the Cardinals caught it. That was the whole thing, which is why I was so hard on them. Was I said the Cardinals should have to forfeit games because they had players going out to the club. The Marlins caught it. They think they caught it at the hotel while they were traveling and all that stuff.
Sure.
So that was a different scenario. But I think baseball gets through this, man. I think they do. I think they had a great plan in place last year, and that's why I think they do these first, 60 to 80 games, the first half of the season. You play AL Central and NL Central plays one another. It limits the travel. AL West, NL West, NL East, AL East. You limit the travel first half, and then second half, once all this stuff is under control, go for it.
All right, guys, that is going to be it for the Man Hour. Thank you for you guys for tuning in. You can find us every Monday through Thursday, youtube.com/Man Hour, 8 p.m. East Coast time. See us guys there. Catch you next week here on the Big Guy Sports Radio. Man Hour Nation, rise up.
1950s voice.
History Channel needs to